Hi there, everybody. I've worked as a specialist in senior healthcare for the entirety of my career. Today, I want to talk about a trip that many of us have always wanted to take after turning 70. While exploring new locations and experiencing different cultures can be really thrilling, there are some severe concerns that many of us don't consider until we are already confronting them. Have you ever questioned if traveling over the age of 70 is still a good idea? Although some people may believe they can maintain the same level of activity as they did in their younger years, the truth is that after the age of 70, travel can present special challenges that could turn a dream vacation into a stressful, even life-threatening situation. This is because our bodies and minds undergo changes that can make travel more exhausting, unpredictable, and even a little risky. From unforeseen health issues to those unseen financial traps that can seriously deplete your resources, we'll discuss 5 key reasons why traveling after the age of 70 might be dangerous in this video. You will gain a better understanding of the difficulties seniors encounter when traveling with each point. You will have a solid grasp of why traveling at this stage of life requires extra caution by the end of this video, as well as what you can do to keep safe if you want to travel. Stay with me through to the finish, since many seniors never even think about the final reason on our list. Nonetheless, it's among the most frequent ways that travelers lose money, time, and peace of mind. Let's get going now. Medical emergency and elevated health hazards rank first. The increased risk of unexpected health problems is one of the most important considerations when traveling over the age of 70. Our bodies might become less predictable as we age, and ailments like high blood pressure, heart problems, and breathing issues can suddenly become life-threatening. Receiving prompt medical assistance is typically simple while you're at home, but when you're traveling, especially in a foreign nation or a region you don't know well, getting the proper care can be considerably more difficult. When you're far from your usual doctor, a little health issue that may have been readily resolved at home can swiftly turn into something more serious, even life-threatening. The possibility of a medical emergency is not merely something to consider. For many seniors, it is a genuine possibility. Long flights can raise the risk of deep vein thrombosis, another name for blood clots. Even something as basic as becoming dehydrated or overheated can have a significant negative impact in a climate you're not accustomed to, and high altitudes can strain your heart and lungs, particularly if you already have some health problems. Additionally, seniors are more susceptible to infections, thus exposure to novel bacteria and viruses in various settings can result in unanticipated illnesses. Consider James, a 74-year-old who has always enjoyed taking trips. Thinking it would be a leisurely approach to explore new areas without a lot of physical effort, he and his wife arranged a 2-week cruise. His treatment was delayed by hours when he began experiencing severe chest pain on the 4th day of the trip. The ship's doctor and nurses provided him with basic care, but he needed to get to a hospital quickly because they were in the middle of the ocean and he had to wait for an emergency helicopter to take him to the closest port. Fortunately, he survived, but the ordeal left him deeply shaken. He later claimed that if he had given the hazards more consideration, the terrifying experience that had been planned to be a great holiday could have been prevented. Another important factor to think about is medical insurance. Without the proper travel insurance, hospital stays, emergency surgeries, and even basic medications can end up costing you a fortune. Many seniors believe their regular health insurance will cover them wherever they go, only to discover too late that they are not covered for medical treatment in another country. In order to receive the care they require while they are away, some seniors wind up spending thousands of dollars. If you're over 70 and considering a trip, what can you do? A thorough examination, a discussion of potential hazards, and a consultation with your physician should be your first priorities. When it comes to your health, being prepared can mean the difference between a disaster and a smooth trip. Make sure you have all the medications you need with you. Always research the healthcare system in the place you're going. And if you're traveling abroad, make sure you have good travel insurance that covers emergency evacuations and hospital stays. One of the most crucial aspects of enjoying life after 70 is maintaining good health. Although medical concerns are a major worry, there are other reasons why travel can be dangerous. The second is more exposure to pollutants and diseases. The higher risk of contracting foodborne illnesses, viruses, and germs is one of the risks of traveling over the age of 70 that isn't generally considered. Public transit, crowded airports, packed aircraft, and unfamiliar restaurants all contribute to the easy transmission of bacteria and viruses. A little cold or stomach ailment may only be a short-term annoyance for younger tourists, but for elderly people, these diseases might result in major complications, hospital stays, or even long-term health concerns. An older adult's immune system may not always be able to fend off infections, and a single trip can expose them to more of them than they would typically experience in months at home. Our immune systems gradually deteriorate with age, making it more difficult to recover from infections. For older persons, respiratory diseases in particular might be a serious problem. Seniors are more susceptible to complications from the flu, pneumonia, and even normal colds, according to studies. This is especially true when they are exposed to new strains of the virus in different regions of the world, and airlines in particular can serve as a breeding ground for germs. Since individuals from all over the world go through airports every day, it's easy to come across viruses that your body has never experienced before. Passengers are frequently crammed together and breathe in recycled air for hours at a time. Then there is the matter of the safety of food and water. Seniors may experience stomach upsets due to unusual products, spices, and cooking techniques, but many tourists are eager to taste new foods in other nations. Older persons are particularly vulnerable to foodborne diseases such as Salmonella, E. coli, and norovirus, which can cause dehydration, long-lasting illness, and a seriously compromised immune system. Additionally, visitors frequently lack the protection that locals have against particular bacteria in their water supply. Even something as basic as drinking tap water or eating a salad that has been washed in local water can cause severe stomach diseases. Other locations where germs can persist include public restrooms, hotel rooms, and rental cars. Many people believe that a location is secure if it appears clean, yet surfaces like tray tables, seat belts, and doorknobs are rarely as well cleaned as they ought to be. Because they frequently contact public surfaces for balance, seniors who use walkers or canes are much more vulnerable. How, therefore, can elderly people defend themselves? Taking extra care is essential if travel cannot be avoided. Avoiding raw foods in unfamiliar places, sticking to well-cooked meals, drinking only bottled or filtered water, wearing a mask in crowded areas, and frequently washing your hands and carrying hand sanitizer can all help reduce your risk of catching dangerous germs. Additionally, it is imperative that those traveling abroad receive the proper vaccinations and bring any necessary drugs for respiratory or stomach conditions. It is possible to stay healthy when traveling, but it requires caution, preparation, and a robust immune system. But there are other concerns besides health hazards. Travel weariness and recovery issues are the third reason why traveling over the age of 70 can be more of a hassle than a pleasure. These factors can impact not only your health, but also your financial and mental well-being. Although traveling may seem thrilling, seniors over 70 may experience physical challenges such as lengthy flights, early check-ins, and difficult-to-follow schedules. Unlike when you were younger, when a good night's sleep could recharge your batteries, older adults frequently find that their fatigue lasts for days or even weeks after a trip. And when your body is tired, everything else suffers. Addicts and hours of walking can cause a level of exhaustion that is difficult to recover from. Your risk of becoming ill or hurt increases significantly, your immune system may deteriorate, and your coordination may deteriorate. Sleep disruption is one of the main issues elders encounter when traveling. Sleeping in someone else's bed, enduring noisy accommodations, or attempting to acclimate to different time zones can all make it nearly hard to get the rest you require. Lack of sleep causes more than just fatigue. It impairs your immune system, impairs mental clarity, and may even raise your risk of cardiac issues. Jet lag can linger far longer than you might think because studies have shown that seniors who travel across many time zones frequently take longer to acclimate. This residual fatigue can make an otherwise enjoyable trip into a dreary one, leaving visitors feeling exhausted rather than rejuvenated. Then there's the physical strain problem. Long-term sitting on a bus, train, or airplane can cause your joints to enlarge, your muscles to become rigid, and your risk of blood clots to rise. Long travel times can cause discomfort for elderly people with circulation issues or arthritis that persists long after the trip is over. Even once you arrive at your destination, the physical demands of sightseeing, carrying your bags, and attempting to keep up with scheduled activities can quickly become too much to handle. Consider Richard, a 75-year-old man who had always loved to travel after retiring. He and his wife planned a 2-week vacation abroad, believing it would be as enjoyable as their previous trips. But after a 10-hour flight, navigating a crowded airport, and attempting to adjust to a 6-hour time difference, what began as an exciting vacation can quickly turn into a struggle just to keep up. Even before the vacation officially began, Richard was exhausted. By the second day, he was having problems staying awake during tours, walking great distances, and constantly needing to take rest. It was almost time to return home by the time he felt somewhat better, and he spent the following weeks recuperating from the journey rather than relishing his recollections. Maintaining their regular diet and drinking enough water are additional challenges for seniors. It's easy to forget to drink enough water when you're on the go, and many areas have unfamiliar meals that can cause digestive issues. Even slight dehydration can induce fatigue, lightheadedness, and confusion, making even straightforward tasks seem difficult when physical pressure and inadequate sleep are combined. After a vacation, it's simple to understand why many seniors feel worse rather than better. What is the answer then? Seniors who still want to travel should schedule plenty of rest days, make sure they drink enough water, and avoid packing too many activities into their schedule. Shorter flights with layovers allow you to get up and move around, and packing healthy snacks and scheduling naps can also help you feel less exhausted. The most essential thing is to be aware of your personal limitations and modify your travel plans appropriately. After all, a vacation should be enjoyable, not something that requires weeks of recuperation. Seniors are particularly concerned about the physical toll that travel takes, but this is not the only hidden risk. Fourth, there is a greater probability of falls and injuries. This is one of the main risks of traveling after the age of 70. Our reflexes, balance, and bone strength all gradually deteriorate with age, increasing our risk of accidents. Furthermore, a minor mishap in your own house might not seem like a huge concern. A fall when traveling, particularly in an unfamiliar location, can result in serious hospital visits, fractured bones, or even long-term mobility issues. In actuality, a senior's life can be drastically altered by a single fall, making a journey that was supposed to be leisurely into a pricey and unpleasant experience. Many elderly people are unaware of how different travel situations can be from their familiar surroundings. There are frequently uneven flooring, poorly lighted stairways, and slick surfaces in hotels, cruise ships, and historic buildings that increase the risk of falls. In many locations, emergency medical services aren't as prompt or sophisticated as they are back home, which means even minor injuries can take longer to treat, increasing the risk of complications. In other locations, there aren't many accommodations to help people with mobility issues, so simple things like getting on a bus or walking on cobblestone streets can become unexpected hazards. Consider Linda, a 78-year-old woman who had always wished to travel to Europe. Although she was in reasonably good physical condition for her age and had no trouble walking around her neighborhood on a regular basis, she soon discovered that navigating the steep and uneven streets of Italy was more difficult than she had initially believed. She broke her hip when she stumbled and fell hard one evening in a dark alley after stepping off a curb. After being taken to a nearby hospital, the physicians informed her that she required surgery. In addition to having to shorten her trip, she had to recuperate for months after returning home. She wishes she had never gone on the trip that was supposed to be the adventure of a lifetime. Fatigue is another significant component. Long days, erratic eating schedules, and disturbed sleep patterns are all common when traveling, and they can all impair your balance and coordination. When you're exhausted, your reaction times slow down, increasing the likelihood of a trip or fall. Long walks through train stations, airports, or tourist attractions can also cause swelling and discomfort for elderly people with arthritis or joint pain, which raises the possibility of unexpectedly losing your equilibrium. If seniors must travel, there are several ways to reduce their risk of falling. Selecting accessible locations, staying away from high-risk areas with uneven terrain, wearing supportive shoes at all times, using walking sticks if necessary, and getting enough sleep can all help. Above all, it's critical to understand your own limitations. Number 5, travel insurance and financial risk. One of the most surprising risks of traveling beyond 70 is not just the financial risks associated with it, but also the long-term ability to travel and your independence. No trip is worth risking for these reasons. Many elderly people believe that they can simply rely on their funds or insurance in the event that they encounter difficulties when traveling. However, you might be surprised to learn how quickly medical problems, trip cancellations, and even financial frauds can deplete your money account. A well-planned vacation can become a financial nightmare for many seniors due to a single unforeseen circumstance, leaving them with enormous expenditures and a great deal of worry. Medical care overseas is one of the largest cost concerns. Many seniors are unaware that their standard health insurance frequently does not cover treatment abroad. This implies that even in nations where healthcare is typically less expensive, emergency medical evacuations, such as the need to be airlifted to a proper hospital, can cost tens of thousands of dollars if you are ill or injured while traveling. Without the proper travel insurance, these expenses could amount to thousands of dollars. Elderly people may be forced to choose between foregoing the care they truly require or having to pay a hefty out-of-pocket charge. The problem of trip cancellations comes next. With the assumption that they would be well when the time comes, many seniors plan their vacations months in advance. However, life may be erratic, and unexpected medical issues may necessitate postponing or canceling a vacation entirely. Seniors may lose thousands of dollars due to the stringent policies of many hotels, cruise lines, and airlines regarding refunds for last-minute cancellations. Without the proper trip insurance, it may be quite difficult to get their money back if they have to change their plans. Scams and fraud pose a significant financial risk in addition to medical expenses and cancellations. Scammers frequently target senior citizens, utilizing strategies such as phony taxi services that overcharge for basic services or even intricate plans to steal your credit card information. Because they may be less likely to recognize a scam, many scammers especially target elderly people who appear unfamiliar with their surroundings. In many instances, scammers prey on elders by selling phony vacation packages that ultimately prove to be nothing more than costly traps. Consider George, a 76-year-old guy who has always handled his finances with caution. He made sure to save money for every aspect of his ideal tropical island vacation. However, upon his arrival, he discovered that the hotel he had reserved was non-existent. He was a victim of an internet fraud. He had nowhere to stay and his money was gone by the time he found it out. In order to have a place to stay, he had to quickly look for another hotel and pay twice as much as he had planned. What ought to have been a restful vacation devolved into a tense financial crisis that followed him home. How, therefore, can elderly people defend themselves? First, always make sure that overseas travel is covered by your health insurance. If not, get a decent travel insurance plan that covers medical emergencies and trip cancellations. Second, only utilize trustworthy companies when making travel arrangements and avoid discounts that look too good to be true. Thirdly, when traveling, exercise additional caution with your money and refrain from carrying huge sums of cash. Traveling might be fun, but be careful who has access to your credit card information and never give your personal financial information to strangers. These financial risks demonstrate that, after age 70, greater vigilance is required. Travel is a bet that not all seniors are prepared to face because of the unforeseen expenses, the possibility of losing money to scammers, and the sheer unpredictability of medical situations. Does this, however, imply that you should never go on another trip? Not necessarily. Last thoughts? We've just covered 5 key reasons why traveling over the age of 70 carries some serious hazards, concerns that many of us don't consider until we're facing them ourselves. These risks include unforeseen health issues, injuries, fatigue, infections, and financial traps. Traveling may seem like a great way to enjoy your retirement, but after a certain age, it requires a lot more preparation, attention, and awareness than it did when you were younger. Each of these difficulties can transform what should be a restful vacation into something overwhelming, even dangerous. Does that imply, however, that elderly people should never travel? Absolutely not. For those of us over 70, it simply means that we need to think and plan differently about travel. It may be better to choose closer, safer options that don't strain your body instead of long-haul, exhausting flights, stressful tours, and dangerous destinations. Seeing local sites, traveling shorter distances, or concentrating on places with easy access to quality medical care can all significantly improve your safety and enjoyment of your trip. Instead of causing new issues that persist long after you return home, travel should improve your quality of life. Think carefully about the possible difficulties if you or someone you care about is considering traveling after the age of 70. Can you manage the journey with your current state of health? Do you have the appropriate travel insurance to guard against monetary losses? Have you selected a location that meets your demands in terms of safety and ease of access? At the end of the day, living a long life isn't just about gaining more years. It's also about ensuring that those years are spent in good health, independence, and peace of mind. If avoiding some travel means staying healthier, then honestly answering these questions may save you a great deal of needless stress and hardship. If it's safer, you should reconsider the dangers before scheduling your next journey. Thanks for watching.